What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the Altar again, and this time we return with Luca of Necrot. It is great to be able to talk with you again. Thanks for coming back on the show.
What's up, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's so good to see you again as well, man. Again, it's like almost a death metal tradition in New York City where I'm usually outside the venue every time you guys are pulling up, either because I'm interviewing you guys or one of the bands you're touring with. So good times, good times.
Or all of the bands.
Yep, exactly, exactly. But this new album, Lifeless Birth, I will say right now, it is the best Necrot album to come out. Like, congratulations! Every album, from Blood Offerings to Mortal to now, such an evolution demonstrated. Was there sort of a vision behind what you wanted Lifeless Birth to sound like? Was there a goal or a vision in mind, or was this very improvisational and sort of kind of like just?
I mean, there is always a part of it that just comes out on its own, that you don't know what you're gonna do it until you're doing it, until you're sitting down writing the songs. But also, like, I just wanted to, there was no intentional change, but like, I just wanted to accentuate and make better everything that is part of the Necrot sound. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, we have always had aggressive parts. We've always had like more melodic parts. We have always had like groovier slow down or breakdown parts. We've always had sick guitar solos. So it's like, I wanted all these elements to still be there completely. There was no intention at all to change our sound, but there was like just an intention to make these parts more interesting. Yeah. The aggressive parts, I wanted them to be more aggressive. I feel like this is the most aggressive album we've made. And I wanted the melodic parts to be interesting and the slow down parts to be intense. And like, I just feel that all the elements of Necrot is still exactly there, just like accentuated. That's how I feel about the album.
Yeah. One great memory I have doing interviews is I think you're one of the first bands where I was able to do an interview with regarding every album that you've done so far, from Blood Offerings to Mortal
That's
to now.
True.
So like, to witness this evolution, it really was it was an honor to witness this. Would you say that this is almost kind of like the sound you were going for? Like, was this maybe almost the vision you had, even going back to the Blood Offerings days, or even like to like the Abyss demo or something like that?
No, well, it's like, you always compare to the stuff before, and like you try to learn from every album, like the little things that you wanted to do differently. And now we had two full lengths to compare it to, Mortal and Blood Offering. So we wanted to have the low end and power of Blood Offering, and at the same time have the clarity of Mortal, to be able to understand all the riffs and all the little things that are happening in there. So it's like we were able to get like, the best out of two worlds kind of. And it's like, I feel that like it's really cool to like have this progression, and like it's cool to like being able to do more and more albums, because with every one of them you get to fix those little aspects that you wish you did better on the albums before.
When you like listen to this album, and when you go from Cut the Cord and you go right to Lifeless Birth, and then you go on to Superior, like the way that the album flows, it really seems like each track leads into another. Would you say that all these tracks may be like a little bit connected conceptually in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do that every time I write an album. I always wanted to have like his own journey. I feel like I write albums for people who listen to the album from the beginning to the end. That's the way I try and think about the album when I'm writing the songs. So it's like, I always wanted to have kind of like different emotions going through it. And usually I like to have more aggressive songs at the beginning, and then kind of like change the mood of the album towards the middle, and then go towards a more not as easy listening kind of ending, where the songs get longer and there is more guitar work, there is more changes, there is more different tempos. I like to have this story on the album where you start aggressive and then you slowly get like to different atmospheres, and then you get towards the end of it and it's just like, it gets darker and it gets slower and it gets more intense and the songs are longer. You need to, I feel like, songs like The Curse at the end of the album, is like, you really need to love metal to like a song like that, because it's a fucking 8.5-minute song with various guitar solos and changes and riffs that they're like super metal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
While I see that, like, we have different influences in our sound, and like, but I do like to think that someone will listen to the album from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I really think that our kinds of fans do that.
Yeah.
We're not a band that, our fans are loyal, and they can't wait for us to put out a new album to sit down and listen to it through the whole thing.
No, absolutely. Every fan I've met, because it's at the point now, and I'm really happy to see this, but like every death metal show I go to, whether you're playing it or not, I'm usually seeing a couple Necrot shirts there, and I feel like your music, you do have a loyal fan where like if they know Necrot's music, they know everything from, Blood Offerings.
Yes.
Like they know even.
Yes, we
know
never gave a shit about people who just listen to one song, and then they don't know anything else about you. They just know that one song. So it's like we don't do things like that. We're not like a pop band that tries to do one hit, and then nobody gives a shit about the whole album. They just care about that one song. We don't do shit like that. We care about the whole album, and we know that people that listen to us have the time and patience, and they care to listen to the whole thing.
Well, but you all, I mean, just the way that it is now, we all have to release a single. So do you just say, here, pick any one, or do you?
Yes, that's what I tell Scotty. I'm like, you pick the singles because you're the Scotty from Tank Crimes. I'm like, you are the record label guy. You're the one who needs to sell this shit. I'm the one who needs to play. So it's like you do.
That's a good line. That's really good.
Yeah. So it's like I don't care which one is the single. It's like I also don't necessarily think that like the strongest song should necessarily be the single. It's like, to me, it don't matter. It's like, because I know that our fans are gonna get to listen to the whole thing when that come out.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't with the single, because you could put something out that maybe is very familiar to what we've heard previously, and people are going to be like, oh, great, it's another song by the same band or something like that. Or you could do something really out of the box, and people are like, oh, what the hell has this band become? I don't even want to listen to the rest of the album.
Yeah, but that's just internet stuff.
Of course.
Like, that's just people throwing their opinion, which is great. And they're allowed to say whatever they think. But like, my job is to make sure, and Sonny's and Chad's job is to make sure that the whole album is sick.
Yeah.
So then you don't have to worry about shit like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a weak song on the album and be like, oh, I wish they don't pick that one. Then why is that song on the fucking album in the first place?
Yeah, definitely. And I can tell you succeed with all three of that in that regard. And the way that you, Chad, and Sony work together is really unique, because I feel like, I've interviewed Chad before, and his what he has to say about his percussion and the groove and his rhythmic contributions to the band. It's very interesting to hear his creative process and like listen to your creative process about it. Do you guys kind of go into the album with the same exact vision in mind, or are you just kind of like all going in with many different ideas at once?
I mean, we've been in a band for 13 years, so everybody knows his job in the band, and we have a way of doing things that pretty much has always been the same. So it's like, I write all the songs on guitars and I write all the lyrics, and then Sonny comes up with the solo parts, which there is almost a solo on every song, and sometimes there is even more than one on every song. So it's like he's got his job to do, and then Chad's got, he needs to come up with the old drum beats and fills, and there is like an exchange of informations, because I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm hearing here. Because usually I come up with the whole song and the song structure, and then, I'll talk with Chad, and Chad will be like, why don't we do this here? And I'm like, yes, fuck yeah, let's do it, and then we try that. But then eventually, there needs to be communication, and like, even if everybody's doing this chunk of work, it's like, I need to be like, hey, I want the lyrics, the voice, the vocals to come in after 2 measures of this riff. I need a feel. You need a feel there, come up with a feel there to, little introduction to the vocals when they come in, or little things like this,
Mm-hmm.
And then Chad comes, has to do his work at home and come up with all that shit. And then it's like, sometimes I talk with Sonny about like the lyrics of a song or the mood of a song, because, I feel that like, a faster, more aggressive song might requires a more shreddy kind of solo, while a slower, more depressive song might requires not as shreddy of a solo, and more melody, more more drag out notes and whatnot. So we all talk to each other. We give each other little inputs, you know, because we need to know what the other person is doing.
Yeah. And being being a bassist as well, you know, that's a very important instrument as it has both an emphasis on rhythm and melody at the same time. So when you're playing live on the bass and you're singing along with it, you have to focus on, you know, singing, memorizing the lyrics and being able to, you know, be on time with that, and then also having its own time signatures with the bass. Like, how do you sort of like focus on both at the same time?
Well, you don't. You only focus on one, and then you make sure the other one, you're practiced enough that it goes by itself. So usually I just focus on the vocals. And the bass, I've played those songs so many times because it's like, I get to play those songs more than anybody because it's like, I write the riffs. So it's like before I show them to Sonny and Chad, I've already been playing them for a while. So then I'm playing them more at the guitar, and then I'm playing them on the bass, and then I practice a lot. And also, like, you know, the three of us, me, Chad, and Sonny, we all started playing music when we were 8 years old or 9 years old. So we've been playing music for a long time. So it's like, I feel that like to me, it's like at this point, it's like I practice the bass almost every day. Like, you know, now I just got back from tour like 3 days ago after 44 days on the road. So there's going to be 10 days that I don't want to touch anything just because I need to pay attention to my personal life. I've been gone for so long. But like on my usual routine, which is going to pick back up in a week, well, I always play the songs. Like every day, I'll play at least 10 of the Necrot songs, you know, to always be in shape, you know, to always be ready to play them. Because when I have to sing on top of it, I don't have time to focus on the bass playing because I have to focus on the singing. Mm-hmm. So that part needs to be almost mechanical, like you're riding, you know, like you're riding a bicycle, you're talking to someone, you're not thinking about riding the bicycle, you know, you're concentrating on what you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
it's a little bit like that, you know, you need to do it so much that then it becomes like your muscle memory, you know.
Well, I also, because you mentioned that you create albums for people who want to listen to the album from start to finish, you definitely do that. But, you know, when you are playing live and you have to put a set list together and you want to maybe bring some Mortal songs and then some Lifeless Birth songs and then some Blood Offering songs, how do you pay attention to how each song kind of leads into another with that in the set list?
Yeah. We think about that too. We think about how's that going to work. Yeah, of course. And we usually try to put on our set the more faster, more intense songs because we like that intensity of our set and we don't want to lose people's attentions and we want people to get involved and understand that we want to create like a very kind of a borderline dangerous environment, you know? So it's like there is an intention when we pick the order of the songs for the set list, for sure.
Yeah, and because I've also seen Necrot play at a variety of different type of venues as well. Like I've seen you play at Brooklyn Bazaar, rest in peace to that place, where, you know, like everybody's on the stage or everybody's really up front. There's no barricade. But then I've seen you play at places like the PlayStation Theater, where, you know, with Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel, it's massive. So like, does the mood of the show or the Necrot experience maybe change depending on the setting that you're in as well?
It might a little bit, but I mean, we still play all sizes shows, you know. It's like on this last tour we just did with Municipal Waste, we played in Richmond. The last show there was, I don't know, 1,400 people, maybe something like that, or the UC Theater in Berkeley sold out, like, you know, over 1,000 people. But then we have also played like, you know, some smaller shows. And, you know, when you're a band that plays a lot, even now we're about to do like a 6-week tour. It's like you want to play every night or almost every night, you know. So it's like sometimes you have to take the small show, you know, on a Monday night somewhere in the middle of fucking nowhere. You still want to do it because there's people there that want to come see you, even if it's just 100, 150 people, you know, you can still make a sick night.
Yeah.
And like, I feel that like, you know, we have played all kinds of shows since forever. Like, you know, we played for years in all these small venues and just doing underground stuff. And so we're used to everything at this point. We can play the big place or the small place. And like, I mean, people are just people, you know, I'm gonna say like the crowd is right there. It's like, you know, you have to interact with them and play as best as you can. And like, I feel that like, it's a different approach when it's a smaller place because they're right in your face, you know, they're almost about to knock out your mic. Or if it's a big room, but it's kind of the same, you know, you just gotta go there have fun, and and play your songs, and
But
and people are gonna get it.
yeah, I mean, I'd imagine though there has to be, and for better or worse, like I'd imagine that there's a different type of crowd energy or a different type of crowd experience as well, right? Does maybe your method of crowd interaction change if there's a barricade between you and the people or not? You know?
There is many factors, yeah, definitely. Also, sometimes it's like the show is all ages, so all the kids are there and they want to go nuts. Sometimes you're playing like some a small club or sometimes you're playing a brewery, and eventually there's just a bunch of like people drinking beers. And no, I don't know what you say. I don't know what to say. Or like it's over 21, and people are there to drink beer and watch the show, which is cool. But eventually the show will still be sick. But the amount of people that they want to go nuts or wild is less than if you're playing a whole ages show and there is a punk band opening, and it's like there is so many factors. It also depends what kind of night it is. Our own headlining tour, are we opening for someone else? It's like there's so many factors: venue size, day of the week, all ages or not all ages. But like we always try and make it as intense as possible, and we try to push people to go a little bit over the limit.
I've noticed that about Necrot in a way. I don't know why, but I've always found that there was some sort of like punk rock energy in there as well. Maybe because I've seen you guys play.
Yeah, because I mean, we started like we were all growing up in the punk scene and underground scene of music, and like going to underground shows and things that they're booked like locally at someone's house, and people printing their own cassettes like we used to do at the beginning, and like. Those shows were wild, since our very first shows, they were pretty fucking wild because it's like, the shit is fast and people get fucked up and you just want to have a good time. And so that the shows have always been high energy. We were never like a low energy band or someone who wants to get you in some weird mood. We always been showing up and be like, let's fucking destroy everything. It's always been kind of like that for us since the beginning.
Yeah, but
so it's like we keep doing that, but now you got 1,000 people in front of you, and sometimes you feel like, holy shit, let's see.
Well,
this is gonna be dangerous.
But when you do play like the doomier songs or those slower Necrot songs, you do also sort of change the vibe in a way. I've seen people throw down and go nuts in the pit at your shows, but I've also seen people watching you guys like as if they were watching Tool.
No, yeah, 100%. You get both types of crowd, and I understand it too because sometimes I just enjoy watching the band, and like our stuff is intense in my opinion. Is down tuned. There's a whole atmosphere to it of aggression and is oppressive almost, But also there is a lot of technicality that goes into it. It's like you want to watch Sonny shred a solo or fucking you might get stuck watching Chad playing the drums. You know what I mean? It's like it's a sick show in my opinion, and it's like we have been playing together for 13 years, so we have built a chemistry between us that is like it's really fun for us to play together, and I feel that like people get that part.
Oh, 100%.
Like people can understand that we're having a great time. Because it's true, because we're having fun.
One of the funnest memories I have at a Necrot show was the show that you guys did. It was you guys, Gatecreeper, Judiciary, and I'm forgetting... Exhumed, yeah. That was a fantastic show. You had like the hardcore crowd a little bit with Judiciary on the bill, and then you had, Gatecreeper and you guys, and then Exhumed kind of has like their own little thing going for them as well. So like I think it was a really good punky death metal show.
Yeah, totally. We definitely get a mixed crowd of people,
Yeah.
Which is great. It's sick. I mean, it's like we're not one of those kind of bands that you're like, oh, you have to be something or something else. It's like you can hear it in our music. We have influences that come from a lot of styles of music, included all the one you said.
Yeah, you're a smorgasbord of death metal. For the melodic death metal fans, for the traditional death metal fans, even for the tech death fans, I think that there's always there's a lot of fun to be had.
I don't think we're tech enough for the tech guys, but like. Yeah. Well, I think that everybody gets his reason to because there is bands that are way more technical than us.
Of course.
I still have a hard time considering ourselves like much of a technical band. Even if we're playing fast and all of that, it's like I never fully think of us that way. Yeah. But like I've always listened to that there is we have weird tempos. I've always been influenced I've always enjoyed bands that they're extremely technical.
Yeah.
I don't deny it,
I'd like to see you guys tour with Archspire. I think they're one of the best like tech death bands at the time.
Oh, I don't even know them, but I should check them out.
Oh, definitely. Relentless Mutation. Start with that album.
Okay.
Yep. And
You're gonna have to write me this because I'm gonna forget it.
okay, I'll write it in the chat.
Please.
Yeah, but the final question I wanted to ask you is actually is really with the world of death metal nowadays, because I really think that, I mean, just seeing you guys completely just kill it every night, but seeing bands like Gatecreeper and Blood Incantation really rise up, and bands like Sang with Sugabog and Creeping Death, it just seems like death metal is in really good hands with new bands coming out. I'm just wondering, like, what your take on that.
I mean, I just think that it's just a whole new, we all start, like, we are at the point, like, Necro started 13 years ago. And you know me from before that I started before playing death metal with Acephalix and Pastum.
Yeah.
And, like, we are at the point, even with Necro 13 years, that, like, we are, we have something to say, we have our sound out there. And it's like, I feel that all these bands like Gatecreeper and Blood Incantation and many other bands are like Witch Vomit, they're saying, they have their say too. And it's like, now these bands that I remember when we started, almost none of these bands existed. Then they all started a few years after us. And then we played shows together, and we are all friends. Because we're great friends with the Blood Incantation brothers, like, for real, and the Gatecreeper guys, and, like, we're all friends. We've been doing this for a while and play shows together and been on tour with all together, and, like, I feel that everybody's taking his route a little bit. I feel that, like, Blood Incantation is evolving into something else. It's still, like, very technical death metal, but I can tell that these guys have something planned. That is, like, they want to push the barriers of what they're doing. They did all the atmospheric stuff, and also Gatecreeper. I feel that, like, they're trying different styles on different songs. Like, you can tell there is a big difference from. I mean, some of the latest stuff that came out is also like, I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, this is different than what they used to do, but, like, it still locks in with their sound. I just feel that, like, we'll always have, like, this amazing respect for all the bands that started this, Possessed, Death, Autopsy, like, all these, sacred, legendary bands, the Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse, all of them. But I also do feel that, like, one day we might look back at this time and, like, it's sick that there is all these newer bands.
Oh, 100%.
It's sick. It's sick. And you know what? There is so many kids coming to the shows these days, if you play all ages shows, that they're so excited about extreme metal. And I swear there's going to be so many other bands popping up. Oh, it's fucking sick.
Kids are pissed off more than ever nowadays, so they need the music more than ever. So
I think it's a great time. People are excited, and a lot of kids at the shows, a lot of new bands, and people are playing fast, heavy music, and
it seems like, though, like, the real extreme, like, I mean, you guys don't really sound too much like this band, maybe a different type of audience, but really, really fucking heavy. But you look at bands like Lorna Shore, like, and how they're freaking now playing in front of Mastodon and Gojira's crowds, and they're
I missed all of that. Like, I didn't check out any of this stuff.
Yeah, but
like, I've heard it, I've seen some stuff on social media, but that's not my cup of tea.
Of course,
I respect anybody who's playing extreme music, and I wish everybody to be as successful as possible. But I do have my taste in music, and that's, like, for me, it's like, it's not that I'm close-minded, but it's just like I'm so much more attached to the classic death metal or black metal stuff, and, like, all the late 80s, early 90s, like, that's the stuff that really touches my heart.
Yeah.
Like, other stuff, like some of the one you said, is like, I couldn't hear a whole album, I swear.
Fair enough. Everybody has their own tastes and their own different opinions,
but it's like I'm super supportive of all the bands that do extreme music, alternative music. Is all really positive for the scene, and it's really positive for the kids.
Yeah.
That, they grow up in a fucked up, like, where people are watching those TV shows where they're competing, singing songs and shit. I don't even know what they're called, but, like, you know, it's like it's so important. All the fucking pissed off music out there is so good.
Yeah.
But you know, I have my preference. There is some stuff I just can't go through it. You know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I respect you for your opinion on that. And the final question I wanted to ask is, what could we be expecting Necrot from the future? I know that you got the upcoming tour, and this new album, Lifeless Birth, is absolutely amazing. I would love to hear this album performed in full, if that's in the picture.
Well, a lot of shows. That's what's next for Necrot, because we're gonna try and play as many shows as possible before. I know with the new album, make sure everybody that want to see us live gets a chance, or you know, we that's what's in the plans. You know, we got this big tour coming up in June, July with Beth and Phobophilic and Street Tomb, and then we're going to Europe. Hopefully, I want to go to play Latin America, and hopefully we get that organized. And yeah, we're gonna try and play as many shows as possible. We're excited about everybody being able to listen to the record like in 20 days or a couple of weeks is about to come out. You know, it's exciting because I want people to hear it. You know.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I know your fans will be very pleased. But thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Necrot. Be sure to check out Lifeless Birth. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time. Yeah.